Good evening, dear travelers, and welcome back to another grand adventure. Tonight, I'm especially thrilled as we embark on our very first journey into the world of Grimm's tales. So close your eyes, take a deep, cleansing breath, and let us begin. Imagine a realm where magic awakens every sense. As you step beyond the confines of the familiar, the world around you transforms into a living masterpiece of wonder, a place where the air dances with the aroma of freshly baked gingerbread and the delicate scent of wild honeysuckle. Every rustle of leaves whispers a tale, and each beam of moonlight weaves a spell of dreams. You find yourself standing at the threshold of an ancient forest, its colossal trees stretching upward like the pillars of an otherworldly cathedral. Their bark, etched with the memories of countless seasons, glows faintly under a veil of silvery mist. This is no ordinary forest. It is an enchanted haven where time meanders, and the mundane is forgotten amid whispers of magic. The ground beneath your feet is soft and yielding, carpeted with a mosaic of moss, scattered petals, and tiny, shimmering crumbs that catch the light like fragments of a long-lost fairy tale. As you begin your journey into this mystical woodland, every sound, every touch seems imbued with purpose. Listen closely and you may hear the soft echoes of the past, a melody of joy and sorrow that lingers in the air. It is the sound of a guardian's lullaby, a song woven from memories of sweet delights and bitter betrayals. It calls to you with a gentle insistence, inviting you to witness a tale that has been waiting in the wings, poised to awaken the dormant magic within your heart. As you move deeper into this enchanted world, every detail becomes a part of your journey. The vibrant hues of scattered wildflowers contrast with the deep, mysterious greens of the forest, while shafts of moonlight pierce through the canopy, spotlighting hidden wonders. A cluster of dew-dropped cobwebs that sparkle like diamonds, a forgotten toadstool that glows with an inner light, and of course, the ever-present trail of magical crumbs guiding your way. Let the whispers of the wind speak to you of long-forgotten legends. Let the play of light and shadow ignite your imagination, and let the gentle pulse of the earth remind you that every ending is but the threshold to a new beginning. In this enchanted realm, the haunted Candy Cottage awaits, a beacon of both sorrow and hope, where every sweet memory and every lingering tear is a promise of the magic that can mend even the deepest wounds. The Haunted Candy Cottage, a Hansel and Gretel journey. Chapter 1. In the quiet hamlet of Devonshire, where thatched roofs and cobbled streets whispered tales of old, lived two siblings whose hearts burned with an insatiable yearning for something beyond the ordinary. Hansel, with eyes as keen as a hawk's and a mind filled with cautious dreams, and Gretel, whose curiosity rivaled the twinkling stars above, had known hardship for as long as they could remember. Yet in each other they found solace, a refuge from the chill of poverty and the weight of a sorrowful past. As autumn draped the village in a cloak of amber and gold, the forest beyond the fields began its slow transformation. In the evenings, when the sun dipped low behind the distant hills, a silvery mist would creep among the towering, ancient trees. It was during one such twilight, when the world seemed suspended between day and night, that Hansel discovered something extraordinary. While gathering fallen branches near the forest's edge to stave off the coming winter's cold, his eyes caught sight of a peculiar glimmer on the mossy ground. "Gretel, come here," he called softly. The siblings knelt together before a trail of shimmering crumbs that wound its way into the deepening gloom. Each tiny morsel sparkled like spun sugar under the faint glow of dusk, a pathway that beckoned them deeper into the unknown. "These aren't ordinary crumbs," Hansel whispered. his voice trembling with both wonder and uncertainty. They glisten as if touched by magic itself. Gretel's heart leapt at the sight. "Perhaps this is a sign," she breathed, the light in her eyes mingling with hope and trepidation. "A sign that we're meant to find something extraordinary that might change our lives." Hand in hand, they stepped onto the luminescent path, leaving behind the familiar embrace of their village. As they entered the forest, the towering trees seemed to lean closer, their gnarled branches murmuring age-old secrets into the cool, damp air. The crunch of leaves beneath their feet and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures accompanied them like an ancient symphony. In every rustle, every flicker of movement, the forest whispered its invitation. Come deeper, for there the mystery of life itself waited to be unveiled. The siblings pressed forward, their hearts both anxious and exhilarated. They passed beneath arched boughs draped in veils of mist and came upon clearings where the earth was soft, and the silence spoke volumes. In this enchanted place, even the wind seemed to sing a lullaby of forgotten dreams, and with each step, the trail of sugar-like crumbs grew more brilliant, an unspoken promise that their journey was destined to unravel secrets older than time. Chapter 2. As Hansel and Gretel ventured further into the forest's embrace, the very landscape began to whisper legends of yore. The air was rich with the scent of damp earth and wild herbs, and the ground was soft with centuries of fallen leaves. In the quiet of the woods, they discovered moss-covered stones engraved with symbols and ancient runes, cryptic markings that spoke of magic, love, and a long-forgotten tragedy. One afternoon, while resting by a bubbling brook that giggled over smooth pebbles, Gretel's inquisitive fingers brushed against a particularly intricate carving on a stone. The faded lines, worn smooth by time, told of a guardian who once presided over a haven of sweetness, a cottage built entirely of candy, designed to bring joy and wonder to all who entered. Her heart, once vibrant and unburdened, had been shattered by betrayal, and from the ruins of her sorrow had emerged a curse that marred the sugary dream. "Hansel," Gretel murmured, her voice soft with both reverence and melancholy as she traced the delicate curves of the ancient symbols. "These carvings tell of a time when magic was pure and unspoiled. They say that a magnificent cottage, one made of gingerbread and sugar, was a beacon of delight built by a kind guardian whose laughter filled the air. But something terrible happened, a betrayal that turned every sweet morsel into a reminder of loss." Hansel crouched beside her, studying the faded runes with a mix of awe and determination. "I've heard these tales whispered by the elders," he replied in a low, measured tone. "They say that only those with true courage and the purest of hearts can restore what has been lost. Maybe this is our destiny, to find the fabled candy cottage and heal the curse that has cast such sorrow over these enchanted woods." The siblings exchanged a look, a silent pact sealed by hope and a shared yearning for change. They resumed their journey, following the sparkling trail that had grown ever more radiant as the forest deepened. Along the way, the woods seemed to come alive with memories. Ancient oaks, gnarled and wise, whispered secrets to the winds. The gentle burble of streams carried songs of long-ago revelries, and hidden clearings bathed in dappled sunlight invited them to pause and listen to the timeless lore of the land. Nightfall eventually cloaked the forest in deep, violet shadows. Yet even in the darkness, the luminescent crumbs shone like tiny stars guiding them onward. In that otherworldly glow, every leaf and every murmuring breeze seemed to promise that somewhere ahead lay a story waiting to be discovered, a story that would change their lives forever. Chapter 3. After hours of navigating twisting trails and secret glades, the forest finally yielded its greatest marvel. Emerging into a sunlit clearing, Hansel and Gretel beheld a sight that stole their breath away. In the center of the glade stood the fabled Candy Cottage, its very presence an exquisite blend of wonder and melancholy. The cottage was an architectural marvel wrought in confectionery splendor. Its walls, fashioned from freshly baked gingerbread, were decorated with delicate filigree of royal icing and sprinkled with a dusting of powdered sugar. Gigantic candy canes flanked the entrance like sentinels, while windows made of translucent stained lollipop glass glowed softly in the fading light. The roof, adorned with swirls of sugar and caramel, shimmered as if lit from within by a magical fire. Gretel gasped, her eyes reflecting the kaleidoscope of colors dancing across the sugary facade. "It's like a dream come alive," she whispered. "Every detail is crafted with such care, yet there is a lingering sadness, as if the very walls hold memories of lost joy." Hansel's voice was steady despite the awe that shimmered in his eyes. Beauty often hides sorrow beneath its surface. Look at the delicate carvings on the gingerbread arch and listen to the soft sighs of the wind around it. They speak of stories untold and grief that has been kept secret for far too long. The siblings advanced slowly, their footsteps measured and reverent on the dew-damp grass. As they neared the door, a masterpiece of spun sugar, decorated with intricate designs and tiny edible pearls, it creaked open with a sound that was both inviting and foreboding. With hearts pounding in unison, they stepped into a realm where the magic of innocence and the pain of memory converged. Inside, the world transformed. The air was imbued with a warm yet wistful glow that emanated from softly lit sconces made of caramel. The walls were lined with shelves displaying an assortment of enchanted confections, candy apples that twinkled like miniature suns, delicate macarons with iridescent hues, and sugared sculptures that seemed poised to come alive at any moment. Every surface radiated a palpable energy, a bittersweet mixture of joy and mourning that filled the space with an almost tangible tension. Chapter 4. Within the enchanted halls of the Candy Cottage, time itself appeared to slow. The ambience was thick with memories, a palpable sorrow that clung to the very sugar crystals decorating every surface. As Hansel and Gretel ventured further, the soft sound of a forlorn melody began to fill the room, a tune that echoed like the whispers of lost dreams. Without warning, a voice as delicate as a sigh, yet as powerful as a storm, reverberated through the space. "Who dares disturb my solitude?" it intoned, the sound imbued with centuries of grief and longing. From behind a counter laden with exquisitely decorated gingerbread treats, a spectral figure emerged. Draped in a gown that had once been resplendent but was now faded by time, the apparition carried an aura of sorrow that seemed to seep into the very walls. Her eyes, deep and mournful, held the weight of untold stories. "I am the guardian of this cottage," she declared, in a voice that trembled like a dying breeze. Once, this was a sanctuary of magic and delight, a place where laughter mingled with the scent of sugar and hope was as sweet as the confections I created. I was the keeper of that joy, the one who watched over every treat and every smile. But betrayal, oh so bitter and unrelenting, shattered that happiness. A trusted friend, consumed by envy and treachery, turned my gift into a curse, and now I am bound here, forever trapped in a realm where every morsel of sweetness is laced with sorrow. Hansel's heart ached at the sight of the guardian's despair. Stepping forward with gentle compassion, he spoke. "We see your pain, and it saddens us deeply. You are not a monster, but a soul wounded by the harshness of betrayal. Tell us your story, so that perhaps we might find a way to mend the broken magic that haunts these halls." Gretel's voice, though soft, rang with determination. "If there is any hope for you for this place, we will help. We believe in the power of compassion and the strength of forgiveness. Let us share in your burden and help restore the light that has been lost." The spectral guardian regarded them with eyes glistening with both despair and a fragile hope. "To free me," she whispered, "you must journey through the trials of my creation, the labyrinth of confections that now holds the key to breaking this curse. Each challenge will test your courage, your wisdom, and the purity of your hearts. Only by overcoming these trials can you unravel the layers of sorrow that shroud this place." Her words hung in the air like a solemn promise. As if in response, the room around them began to change. The soft glow shifted, and the very walls of the cottage seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The path ahead, once clear and inviting, transformed into a twisting maze, a labyrinth where every turn and corridor was constructed from the very confections that had once symbolized joy, but now held the bitter residue of despair. Chapter 5. The transformation of the candy cottage was as mesmerizing as it was daunting. Hansel and Gretel found themselves standing at the threshold of a vast labyrinth, where every corridor was lined with intricately crafted sweets and every turn promised both wonder and peril. The gingerbread walls, which had once exuded the aroma of freshly baked delights, now bore the subtle undertones of sorrow, a lingering reminder of the curse that had befallen this enchanted haven. In one corridor, the siblings encountered a magnificent mosaic, painstakingly assembled from crystallized sugar shards. The mosaic depicted a vibrant tapestry of scenes, joyful celebrations, tender moments of laughter, and the radiance of unbridled hope. Yet, interwoven with these images were dark, discordant patterns, hints of betrayal, shadows of loss, and streaks of bitterness that marred the once perfect design. Hansel knelt before the mosaic, his fingers tracing the delicate contours of the sugar shards. "This is a map of memories," he murmured, his voice tinged with both wonder and melancholy. "Each piece tells a part of her story, a story of light and of dark. We must piece these memories together if we are to understand the full measure of her sorrow." Meanwhile, Gretel ventured down a parallel corridor lined with towering licorice columns that arched gracefully overhead. The path twisted and turned unpredictably, as if the very sweets were alive, whispering secrets of forgiveness and redemption into the cool air. With every step, she felt the pull of hidden voices urging her to trust her inner strength. "Keep moving," she told herself softly, "for every twist in this maze is a chance to learn and to heal." The labyrinth was filled with challenges that tested the siblings on multiple fronts. In one chamber, they encountered riddles inscribed in delicate sugar script upon the walls. The verses were cryptic, laced with metaphors of sweetness and sorrow, demanding not only intellect, but the depth of their hearts. Together they deciphered clues that revealed the history of the spectral guardian, the love that had once blossomed in this very place and the betrayal that had withered it away. In another part of the maze, a hall of mirrors constructed entirely of shimmering caramel stood before them. The mirrors, rather than reflecting their physical forms, showed them visions of their innermost fears and regrets. Hansel saw the image of a boy left alone in a darkened room, while Gretel saw a reflection of herself burdened by a grief too heavy to bear. Yet, in these visions, they also glimpsed the possibility of healing. a future where every tear could be transformed into a pearl of wisdom and every shadow could give way to light. Time itself seemed fluid in the labyrinth. Moments stretched into hours as the siblings moved through corridors that bent reality. The sweets, once mere confections, now played host to memories and emotions. In one particularly poignant moment, Gretel paused before a candy sculpture, a delicate work of art that depicted a joyful scene of community and togetherness. As she touched its sugary surface, she felt a warmth spread through her heart, a reminder that even in the depths of despair, the spark of hope could endure. Their journey through the labyrinth was both a physical and spiritual trial. Every challenge they overcame was a step toward not only breaking the curse, but also understanding the profound depths of compassion and forgiveness. With each puzzle solved and each fear faced, the siblings grew more united, their resolve hardening like sugar crystallizing in the cold. Chapter 6. At the heart of the enchanted labyrinth, Hansel and Gretel discovered a grand chamber that exuded an aura of solemn majesty. Dominating this space was a colossal mirror, its frame fashioned from polished caramel that shone with an inner light. This was the mirror of truth, a portal not to another world, but into the very soul of the Guardian's past, and by extension, into the essence of the curse that had long held the Candy Cottage in its grip. The spectral guardian reappeared before them, her expression a bittersweet blend of hope and sorrow. "Behold the mirror of truth," she intoned softly, her voice carrying the weight of ages. "Within its depths you shall witness the tapestry of my life, the joy I once nurtured, the betrayal that shattered my heart, and the curse that turned my sanctuary into a prison of bitter-sweet memories." With hearts pounding, Hansel and Gretel stepped closer to the mirror. Its surface rippled like the surface of a gentle lake, and slowly images began to emerge. At first, the visions were serene, scenes of a time when the Candy Cottage was filled with light and laughter. They saw a younger version of the Guardian, radiant and kind, surrounded by villagers who marveled at the magical confections she created. The air was alive with the sounds of merriment, and every sweet treat shone with the brilliance of unspoiled magic. But as the mirror's visions deepened, darker images began to intrude upon the light. They witnessed the moment when a trusted friend, driven by envy and unspoken malice, betrayed the Guardian's trust. Whispers of deceit, shadows of envy, and silent acts of treachery converged into a storm of sorrow that overwhelmed the once bright light. The Guardian's heart, once a wellspring of warmth, began to wither under the weight of betrayal, and the magic that had filled the cottage turned into a curse, a lingering reminder of love lost and trust broken. Tears welled in Gretel's eyes as she watched the scenes unfold. Her heart was filled with hope, and yet it was crushed by the cruelty of another, she whispered, voice trembling with empathy. "We must help her find her light again." Hansel, his eyes burning with determination, placed a reassuring hand on his sister's shoulder. "Only by embracing forgiveness can we release her from this eternal night. We must show her that even in the darkest times there is a spark of hope waiting to be reignited." As if in response to their unspoken vow, the mirror's surface shimmered with an ethereal glow. The images swirled together, a vortex of light and shadow, and the chamber seemed to hold its breath. In that sacred moment, Hansel and Gretel felt the full weight of their task, to heal not only the Guardian's wounded soul, but also the broken magic of the Candy Cottage itself. Chapter 7. Standing together before the mirror of truth, Hansel and Gretel joined hands with the spectral guardian. In that luminous chamber, filled with memories both sweet and sorrowful, the children spoke words that carried the power of their unyielding hope and love. "We choose compassion over fear," declared Hansel, his voice resonant and clear. "Let our hearts be the guiding light that dispels the darkness of despair." Gretel's eyes shone with gentle determination as she continued, "May our love and forgiveness mend the shattered pieces of your past. We believe that every sorrow can be healed, and that even the deepest wounds can be transformed into new beginnings." At their heartfelt declaration, the mirror of truth began to vibrate, its golden light growing brighter and warmer. Cracks formed along its surface, and one by one, shards of reflective caramel broke away, drifting through the air like delicate snowflakes. Each shard shimmered as it dissolved into a cascade of sparkling sugar crystals, their radiance washing over the walls and corridors of the candy cottage. Slowly, the oppressive chill that had long haunted the enchanted halls gave way to a tender warmth. The sugar-laden walls softened in hue, shifting from muted tones of melancholy to vibrant shades of renewal. The spectral guardian, whose face had been etched with sorrow for what seemed an eternity, smiled, a small, tentative smile that blossomed into genuine gratitude. "Thank you, dear children," she whispered, her voice light and filled with newfound hope. "You have freed me from the chains of despair. The curse is lifted, and the magic of this place is reborn." In that transformative instant, every confection, every delicate detail within the candy cottage pulsed with life. The labyrinth of confections, once a maze of bitter memories, now glowed with the promise of redemption. The guardian's eyes, now unburdened, sparkled as though reflecting the myriad stars of a clear night sky. Outside, as the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, the forest itself seemed reborn. The oppressive darkness had lifted, replaced by a gentle radiance that bathed every leaf and branch in a silvery glow. The candy cottage, no longer a monument to sorrow but a beacon of renewed wonder, stood proudly in a clearing where the air was alive with the sweet scent of possibility. Hansel and Gretel stepped out onto the dew-laden grass, their hearts light and their minds filled with dreams of the future. The once mournful trees now swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves whispering secrets of rebirth and endless potential. Every ray of sunlight that filtered through the canopy seemed to celebrate the victory of hope over despair. "Do you see it, Hansel?" Gretel asked softly, her voice awash with awe. "The forest, the cottage. It's as if everything is alive with a promise of new beginnings." Hansel nodded, his gaze wandering over the transformed landscape. "We've not only freed this place, but we've also awakened something in ourselves. We now carry the light of hope with us, wherever our journey leads." In the gentle light of the new day, the candy cottage shone like a jewel among the trees, a symbol of the miraculous power of compassion and the timeless resilience of the human spirit. The air was filled with laughter and song, a melody of rebirth that promised endless adventures yet to come. The gentle glow of a forest transformed now illuminated the road home. Hansel and Gretel retraced their steps through winding trails and sunlit clearings, each echoing their remarkable journey's lessons. The enchanted woods, once shrouded in mystery and melancholy, now resonated with the joyous hum of life reborn. As the siblings walked side by side, they recalled each trial they had overcome, the intricate puzzles of the labyrinth, the haunting reflections in the mirror of truth, and the profound moment when compassion broke the chains of an ancient curse. Their conversations were filled with quiet reflections and exuberant dreams of a future where hope could conquer any darkness. When at last they emerged from the forest's edge, the familiar sights of Devonshire filled them with a deep sense of belonging. The villagers, having long heard whispers of magical happenings in the woods, gathered around with wide eyes and eager hearts. In hushed tones and excited chatter, they listened to Hansel and Gretel recount every detail of their adventure, the shimmering crumbs, the haunted candy cottage, and the miraculous moment when love restored what had once been lost. The tale of the haunted candy cottage soon became legend in the village. Grandparents would sit by crackling fires on chilly evenings and retell the story of the brave siblings who dared to dream beyond the confines of despair. The candy cottage itself, now a symbol of hope and renewal, attracted visitors from near and far, each drawn by the promise that even the darkest curses could be broken by the light of compassion. Hansel and Gretel grew wiser with each passing season, their hearts forever imprinted with the lessons learned in the enchanted labyrinth. Their adventures did not end with the lifting of the curse. Rather, a new chapter of discovery and wonder had just begun. With the forest as their eternal playground and the magic of the candy cottage a constant reminder of what was possible, they embarked on countless journeys, each one a step toward a brighter, more compassionate future.